Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Mardina Shafiah binti Muhammad Hisham. We are from Group 3. So for course csc186 Object-Oriented Programming. So for this assignment, we choose a September 2014 question. So for the introduction of a project, or of a system, first one is the use of the system. Okay, the use of the system is this for school or any educational center, such as university, polytechnics, or others that suffer from many problems about a registration system. So the system we develop is to enhance the old system that's not user friendly. And then, if the study center use the system that provided by us, it will allow them to get the correct data from enrolled student. And it will not cause any problem for user or anyone who can access it. And then our purpose is to make the student to find out if the information such as the amount of the total fees that student needs to pay. So the system will calculate it automatically. And then student is the superclass of this project. Student need to input name, MyKit number, educational year, and the type of the student. So there are two types of student, which is local student and the international student. So for the local student, they have two types, which is new and old student. And for international student, they need to choose which is they want to stay at hostel or not. Objective of this project, the first one, to develop student registration system. Okay, number 2, calculate the total fees for local student, which are new and old student, and calculate the total fees of international student that need to stay in hostel or not. Number 3, to find the highest and lowest fees of among student. Number 4, to display all the information that user has been input. So from the name, MyKit number, educational year, and the student type and the total fees, all of that will display on the screen output. So they will know how much the total fees they need to pay, and who need to pay that, because it will display the name, right? So for the scope of this system, number 1, users in the student registration system is a student and officer. The number 2, in the student registration system, the superclass is the student. So this the attribute is string name, string MyKit no, and in year. So for the getter method is get name, get MyKit no, and get year. Number 3, for local student is a subclass of student. So the attribute is char status. Getter method is get status. And process is a call local student fee. So number 4 is international student, which is a subclass of student. And the attribute is a Bulan hotel status. So for the getter method is a get hotel status, and the process call international student fee. So for the boundaries, the first one is time. So we did this project while we at home. So the time is packed with online class and other assignments, and also busy with our family. So it's hard to stay together, because when someone have time but others have no time, so it's hard. And the second one is internet connection problem. So is that take much time to did this project with all the member, because sometimes they have no internet connection but I have, so just only me can do that. So but when we stay at the college we have the Wi-Fi, right? So we can do that together. Number 3 is let's scale about the project. So we always need to refer the notes the lecturer given or ask the lecturer personal. Go to their room and ask about the assignment, what we need to do. Is that correct? So it's sometimes hard, but it's useful. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatimah Azhara binti Abdul Aziz. I'm from CDCS110 and my ID number is 2022252258. So now I want to present to you about the UML diagram. The UML representation of a class is a rectangle containing 3 compartments stacked vertically as shown in this diagram. So first I want to show you the superclass, which is the first box. Here we got the top compartment shows the class name, the middle compartment lists the class attribute, and the bottom compartment lists the getter method. As we can see, the name is student, and in the middle compartment we see the student class has 3 attributes, which is name, my kid number, and year. In the bottom compartment we see that the getter method is get name, get my kid number, and get year. And the last is toString for print the data. Okay, next we move to the subclass, which is the local student and international student. Same like student class, they have the status and they also have the getter method toString, and the process is called local student fee. Okay, for the last subclass, we got the international student. They have hostile status, toString, and also the getter method, and also the process which is called international student fee. In other words, the student class provide the abstract operation signature of withdrawal and the two child classes of local student and international student. Each implement their own version of the operation. However, superclass, aka parent class, do not have to be abstract classes. It is normal for a standard class to be a superclass. For use case diagram, student registration system. For student, we got their name, their my kid number, their year, and they should choose either they are local student or international student. So, for local student, they could tell us they is the new one or the old one. So, for international student, they should choose either they want to stay at hostel or not. So, the last display the details of student information. For that, both of them, student and officer, got the detail of student information. So the officer can access the the detail lah. Okay, that's all.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, my name is Alif Hamzah Badr Rauf. So, for my part, I will explain the superclass and subclasses of our coding for our group project. So, as you can see in your screen, this is a superclass, which is also a student class. So, it is marked as abstract, which means it cannot be directly instantiated, but it can serve as a superclass for other classes. So in this class, there are 3 private attributes that which are name, my kid number, and year. These attributes store information about student's name, their my kid number, and year. So in this coding, it provides 2 constructors, which are default constructor and normal constructor. For default constructor, sets all attributes to default values, while normal constructor takes the parameters, which are name, my kid number, and year, and initialize the attributes with those values. There is also a set method named setStudent that allows you to set the attribute values after the object is instantiated. The class also provides getter method, which are getName, getMyKidNumber, and getYear to retrieve the attribute values. There is also an abstract method which is calculate fee, which does not have an implementation in this class. So that's why there will be subclasses that extend the student class that will provide and implementation for calculation fee. Finally, there is a two-string method that returns a string representation of the object, including the attribute values. So for the next slide, this is a subclasses that will extend the student class. It adds additionally functional specific to local students. So the local students class extend the student class, which means it inherits all the attributes and methods of the student class. It introduces an additional attribute status to represent the status of the local student. This class provides two constructors, which are default constructor and normal constructor. The default constructor initialize the status attribute to 0, while normal constructor takes four parameters, which are name, my key number, year, and status, and it initialize the inherited attributes using the super keyword. It also initialize the status attribute with the provided value. So there is also a setter method named setLocalStudent that allows you to set the value of the status attribute after the object is instantiated. The class also provides a getter method named getStatus to retrieve the value of the status attribute. It includes a method which called calculation local students fee, which calculates the fee for local student based on their status. If the student is no, the fee is set to 510. Otherwise, it is set to 420. The class overrides the calculation fee method from the superclass. It provides an implementation that calculates the fee for local student based on their status, following the same logic as the calculation local students fee method. So this is the subclasses for international student class. So it also extends the student class and adds additional functionality specific to international students. So it, so in this class, it also inheriting its attributes and methods. So it introduces an additional attribute of hostile status, which is a boolean to represent whether the international student stays in the hostel or not. So so there are two constructors, which are default constructor and normal constructor. The default constructor initializes the hostile status attribute to true, while normal constructor that takes four parameters, which are name, my key number, year, and hostile status, and initialize the inherited attributes using the super keyword. It also initializes the hostile status attribute with the provided value. There's also a setter method named setInternationalStudent that allows you to set the value of the hostile status attribute after the object is instantiated. The class also provides a getter method named getHostile_Status to retrieve the value of hostile status attribute. It includes a method called calculation international student fee, which calculates the fee for international students based on their hostile status. If the student stays in a host, so the hostile status is true, while the fee is set to 575. Otherwise, it is set to 325. The class overrides the calculation fee method from the superclass. It provides an implementation that calculates the fee for international students based on their hostel status, following the same logic as the calculation international student fee method. Just like in the local student class, it's important to note that calculation method fee method that in the student class is declared as abstract, and any concrete subclasses like international student must provide an implementation for that method.
My name is Eddie Shazwani with Asmadi. Next, we move to the main application. First, public class array students app. Then declare array student stu equal new student 3 because we want uh, 3 data. Next, scanner sc equal new scanner system dot in. Scanner sc line equal new scanner system dot in. Then this is for loop. Then user should input data. The data is name, declare name, string name. Then user should also input my key number, year, and choose whether local or international students. For my key number, declare string my key number, then year in year, and for local or international students is string type. Then if student is local, student should choose whether the student is new or old student. Then declare status, char status. Then declare array stu equal new local student, name, my key number, year, and status for local students. Then if user is international student, student should choose whether he or she want to need a hostel or not, and choose true or false. Then declare boolean hostel status. Then declare array stu equal new international student, name, my key number, year, hostel status for international students. Then we declare array for local student and international students. Same with the students last. Then this is look for print the data. The detail for the student registration stu.toString. This toString is from the superclass. The data that will appear at the output screen is a name, my key number, and year. Then if a student local student, the fee is from subclass local student. ls.call local student fee. This is from a subclass local student. Then if a student is international students and get hostel equal true, the fee is from a subclass international student, which is dot current international students fee. Then we want to find the minimum. We want to find the minimum and maximum fee. First, declare in minimum index equals 0. Then if stu I.call fee less than stu min index.call fee, minimum index equal I. Then print name and lowest fee that student should pay. Then same with minimum index, we declare maximum index. Then print the name and highest fee that a student should pay. Then compile, no syntax error. We move to the input and output data. First enter name, for example LD. Then my key number. Then enter year 2021. Then choose whether student is local or international student. Local. Make sure the spelling is correct. Then status for local student is new. Then enter name, Tina. Enter my key number. Okay, then enter year 2023. And then choose one international. Then do you need a hostel? Choose true or false on the alright. Alright. First true. Then enter name, Humairah. Enter my key number. Right. Enter year 2024 and local. Then status all. Alright. As you can see, the details for student registration is appear at the screen. Name, my key number, year, and fee is also appear at this screen. And lowest fee is Humaira and higher fees is Tina is also appear at the screen. I think that's all for me. Thank you.